Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I am your girl, I am your host. My name is Alycia, and this is Fabulous Fridays, where we spotlight black owned businesses that are fabulous in the area of fashion, fitness, food, fixes, and some businesses are just fun, fun, fun. But before we get started, we ask that you like and share this video. I'm sorry. James Hall did not mute his phone.
Oh my God.
Anyway, we ask that you like and share this video. Before we get started, I would like to give a shout out to our head of security, James Thompson.
Woo!
Yes, happy birthday, James.
Happy birthday.
So we're going to get started. It is an honor and a privilege to welcome my guest for today. He is a gospel recording artist. He's a minister of music here. He is my boo, my bowling partner, the Duke himself, Professor James Hall. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy. I'm finally here, y'all.
Yes,
I'm
finally.
doing great things now. I made it on the show.
Really? Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
How are you?
I am okay.
Okay.
There's a lot going on.
You got a lot going on.
I got a lot going on.
So let's talk about it. It's a big weekend for you.
Yeah, you know, I want to be humble about it because
Okay.
they're honoring me this
Yes.
weekend, and people are coming from all over. We got Ohio, we got Florida, we got Virginia, we got people coming from everywhere.
That
My
is James
sister
Hall's
is
phone
calling me.
again. Ringing.
My sister,
Can't make
my
this
sister
stuff
Joyce,
up.
and my phone is on mute, but the vibration is like really strong right now. We thank God for the vibration.
But it's a appreciation concert,
Yes.
and it's going to be held at Citadel Cathedral in Brooklyn
Yep.
on Sunday, December 5th at
That-
7 p.m. The doors open up
7.
at 6.
That's right.
And you have it's featuring you. You're
Yeah.
actually performing.
Yeah.
And then we have some other artists who will be there, such as Terrence Dooley and Testimony,
Yeah, that's Ohio.
Ohio, and Minister Raymond Holmes in Greater Dominion.
I don't know where they're from.
Okay. Isaac Brown and
Florida. They
from
Florida.
Florida, and a few more people. John Fox and New Fellowship.
Virginia.
Oh wow. Okay, and VJ McCoy and Worship
Chicago.
Experience and some other surprise guests that are coming.
Mhm.
And it's free.
It's free.
It's free to
But
everyone.
Please bring your love
I was about to
donations.
say, bring me right.
We ask that you bring your love donations. Amen.
So this is long overdue.
Yeah.
I think one lady put it best. We were in the office, I think last week. Thanksgiving was what, last week?
Last week, yeah.
And we were in the office, and a young lady, one of our community partners, came in, and she was like surprised to see that James
Oh
Hall
my
was in the
God,
front
yes.
office. And I think she put it best by saying, you're a gift to gospel music.
Wow.
You
Yeah,
have
that-
been a gift to.
And that was a random
Yes,
moment.
she didn't know that that you played here
yeah,
or
it was
anything. I thought she was about to cry.
Yeah,
at
it was
one
a
point.
moment. I was like, wait a minute.
But yeah,
Oh, wow.
she said it best. You're a gift to gospel music. I know I've been
you.
listening to you since I was 20 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and enjoying your music. A lot of your songs have gotten me through some difficult times in my life.
That's what it's all about.
So so what inspired you to write your music? What gives you, and everything? Your songs are biblically sound too.
Yes.
It's not no popcorn,
No. I try to tell the young artists or artists that are starting out, and I tell them, I say, when you call yourself doing gospel music, gospel is the good news that Jesus saves at the end of the day. That's what gospel is. So if your music is not talking about Jesus saving, healing, and doing all the miracles that he can do, then you're not singing gospel. We calling stuff gospel that has nothing to do with Jesus.
That's good. Right. Right.
Now it could
has
be
a catchy phrase.
Yeah, it could be catchy
Inspirational.
and it could be inspirational
Right, but
and
it's
it could
not
be
gospel.
encouraging, but it's not gospel.
Right.
we can't call it gospel because that's not what gospel is. So yeah, I've been doing this so long. My humble beginnings started at like 5.
You were 5 years old when you okay.
5 years
And
old.
who introduced you like to
Lula Mae Hall. She was my first manager, my mother. And my mother used to play the piano every Sunday morning. She played it through the week, but Sunday morning was her popular day. And she would play hymns and hymns. And I don't know, I don't remember, I was very young, so I don't remember what made her have me come over to the piano and start singing. Maybe I was singing.
Oh, you were
And
singing first.
yeah,
Okay.
and she, Master James Hall. That was my first.
Oh,
that was my
excuse me,
first name, Master
I think you
James
told me you
Hall.
got some plaques as
I
Master
got
James Hall.
Yeah, because like I said, I told Alycia, I have. It was 5 boys.
Are you gonna tell a story?
I'm gonna tell it.
Okay.
I don't even care. My brothers had all types of trophies in the closet. They had basketball, they had football, soccer, bowling. It was all lined up. All I had was plaques from churches. Well, and that's because my mother sheltered me. I was the baby. It was like, this one, I ain't messing up with this one. Mm-hmm. She had me sheltered. I was on the piano all day, every day. And I thank God every day for Lula Mae Hall, because if it wasn't for my mother, I don't know. I would be probably, I'm not dissing my brothers. Both of my brothers are very successful. But I don't think I would be doing what I'm doing. I mean, my mother put time into me. My mother died when I was 12. But by 12, I was already rolling. It was no turning back. So people was like, oh my God, he's the baby. What's going to happen with the baby? Is he going to, stop doing what I've been doing? That was already my life.
Right.
It was already my life.
So
by
were you
12.
like going on the road at that time?
Well, with my mother.
Okay.
My mother was, like I said, it sounds funny, like she was my manager. Mm-hmm. My mother was taking me, at my church, my mother was the president of the gospel chorus, and she was the president of the Flora Club. So what happened was, my mother would take me to
that Flora Club.
The Flora Club. She used to beautify the churches with the flowers. So when we would go out to Flora Club anniversaries, she would send my name up, say, call my son and sing a solo. I was special guest solos at so many Flora Club anniversaries. And then, when she was over the choir, she would take me. But my mother took me everywhere and played the piano for me, and I would sing.
Okay. So when did you start James Hall in worship and praise? Like, when did that get started?
Okay, so I always, I guess, admired choir directors. And I always, like, my first... Let me make sure this is right. I think, my first choir director was Deborah Pritchard Stevenson. She has a lot of names. I'm going to leave it at Deborah Pritchard.
Okay.
She was my first choir directress. And, as a child, you look at a choir directress, it's like they are bigger than life. Mm-hmm. And you're scared of them. We were all scared of our choir director.
Yeah, we had the
I
honor
know.
of having Sissy Houston.
Yeah, right. I was like, I
so.
know Sissy Houston had y'all scared. But you couldn't, and you wouldn't want to move. But Deborah Pritchard, who is still in my life, had, I just watched her, and she let me travel with her and her choir. And she was the only one my mother trusted to take me places. So while my mother was alive, she was like, Lula, that's what they call my mother, Lulu, let me take James with me to this concert. I'm going to be like, okay, and, take him because he liked to go. And after my mother died, I was still traveling with Deborah Pritchard.
Wow.
And she was the first one to take me to institutional Church of God in Christ, where I kind of like really grew up. Mm-hmm. I grew up, my roots is Baptist. I was at the King Emmanuel Missionary Baptist Church.
What's the name of that? Say that again.
The King Emmanuel Missionary Baptist Church. I got that all twisted up before. King Emmanuel Missionary Baptist Church.
Okay.
So that's where I got my humble beginnings from. It was first the New Hope. Baptist Church.
There was a New Hope Baptist Church in
Yes.
Brooklyn?
Yes.
Okay.
And the church had a split from New Hope, and that's how King Emmanuel came about.
Gotcha.
So I grew up there. That was my humble Baptist beginnings. Mm-hmm. I was a star soloist at the church. And I started playing the piano there, which is weird because I was classically trained. That's my mother had me classically trained from age of 5.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't know I had an ear until I was in church one Sunday and someone was singing. I went to the piano. I was like, "Now you know that's the key?" I was like, "Yeah, that's the key. She's singing it." And my mother was like, "Oh my God, my baby got an ear! My baby got an ear!" And right after that, I was continuing with the classical music, and she was like, "You probably could play at the church," because for some reason we didn't have an organist maybe at that time.
Okay.
And I was playing on the piano, tinkling. I'm sure I would never want to see what I was doing then, because I'm sure it had to be horrible.
So there are no videos that we
Yeah,
can
well,
go
we don't
back to.
have that stuff, right? All we got is pictures.
Okay.
All we have was pictures,
All
but
right.
I would love to see. Well, we do have VHS tapes.
Right.
But by that time I was already kind of well gone, maybe like in my early teens, like 14 and 15.
Mm-hmm.
By that time, I thought I was really doing something. I really wasn't. When I listened to back, I was like, what? But my mother put me on the piano and said, let my son play at the church. And that's how I started. But I was playing the piano.
Okay. So were you getting paid like a little love
I think
offering?
they were giving me $30.
Oh, wow. But
And
that
was
like
a big
right?
deal.
That was big.
$30. I'm gonna come back to the $30 because I'm gonna come back to that. Remind me about the $30.
All right.
So I was getting $30 playing the piano. We went to a church with the gospel choir. They didn't have a piano at the church.
What?
And my mother was like, "Oh my God, they don't have a piano." I was like, "So, what am I supposed to do?"
Oh, did they have an organ?
They had an organ.
Oh, okay.
And my mother was like, "You can play the organ." I said, "I can't play no organ." I said, "Look at those things down, those pedals down there. I don't even know what to do." She said, "You're gonna be fine." First of all, I'm still short. Can you imagine how short I was at like 11? I was very short, and my mother made me get an organ. It was crazy, but I had no idea what I was doing. So I played. Those that are musicians, I was playing with the right hand. This hand wasn't doing anything. I had this hand on my lap, and I was looking down at the pedals, and that was how I played the first time. And I didn't.
Do you remember what song you played?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
The choir sung. It was I played for the choir,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't believe I did that. My mother thought, well, if my siblings were here, they'd be like, "Oh, please." She thought James was. I was the golden child. So she was like, "I knew my baby could do it. I knew it." See, like I tell everybody, she was my first manager. So when my mother passed, when I was 12, it was like, whoa, But thank God, my mother raised 7 children, 8 children. Well, my sister Pearl died early, so when I count the siblings, I count the ones I knew. Pearl was here when I was a baby. They said Pearl had kidnapped me several times from the house, but I don't have no recollection of that. But anyway, so my mother raised 8 children, and all of us had to start with classical piano. And out of the 8 children, I'm the only one that stuck with the piano and organ.
Wow.
My brother plays bass, and my brother Richard used to play the drums, but he's not. If he's looking right now,
hey,
you're not playing the drums now. But my brother Grant is a professional bass player.
Okay.
So we're the only one that stuck with it. But all my siblings had to start with piano. But she saw that I kept going with it, and she was taking me everywhere.
So let's go back to the songs being biblically sound.
Mm-hmm.
So coupled with the piano lessons, did she make you go to Sunday school?
What?
Bible study?
What? How about this? Life is amazing. The deacon that used to take me to Sunday school, because my mother didn't go to Sunday school, but I had to go.
Okay.
Okay, so I would get picked up for Sunday school on the corner of Troy and Bergen. She's like, "Now go, you stand in the corner. Deacon Perry will pick you up." And he would pick me up and take me to Sunday school. Here we are now. It's got to be, I don't know, 20 years, 25 years later. He is the Sunday school teacher at Citadel of Cathedral.
Are you serious?
Can you imagine? That is, he's the superintendent of the Sunday school. It's crazy that's. I have to bring that up because it's like amazing how the world goes around. that we would be there when I was so young, and now
Right.
in my adulthood,
He's the
he's back.
superintendent.
He's the superintendent.
Okay.
So I had to go to Sunday school. I was at church all day, but not all day like my teenage years. We're gonna get to my teenage years, but my young years, I was in church all day. Because after we left our church, the Baptist church, my mother was like, "Let's go down on Fulton Street." Anybody that lives in Brooklyn know about Fulton Street. There's a church in every block, storefront churches. And my mother said, "Let's go down and see what the holiness people doing." And we would go church. I mean, sometimes we would just go pop at church. If there ain't nothing popping in, let's go. We're going next time. We would,
So,
that's what we
not to cut you off, but being that you were in a Baptist church, and you
Now,
know,
we was
at
a
that
fiery
time,
Baptist
I was about
church,
to
though.
ask you because
Yeah.
we're New Hope. We're a different type of Baptist church,
Right,
but
right.
Baptist churches can be
Yeah.
kind of
And when I was coming
quiet.
up, I grew up around those type of Baptist churches where it was very quiet. But the reason why we split from the New Hope Church was because Reverend Wilson started allowing, shouting and stuff like that. And they was like, okay, the deacons were in charge of that church, of course.
Okay.
And they was like, we're not going to have all that.
Did they have drums in that church?
That drum set was so sad. And it was like in the corner. It was in the corner. But I was a child. It was to me, it was a big church. It's so small church now to me now. But I was like, Mom, why are we leaving this church? This church is so nice. And we moved into like a garage when King Emmanuel started. And I hated it. I was like, but we had so much church in there. We had a good time in there. And the choir we was in a small church, but our choir was like 50 deep.
Okay.
We had a big choir, the young people choir.
So speaking of like big choirs, because you don't see big choirs anymore.
Not up here.
Okay,
Not on the east.
Okay, on the West Coast.
On the West Coast.
All right.
Like if anybody's on here from Chicago, I know y'all like, what? Because
Yeah, we don't
Chicago
do
is
choirs anymore.
still the choir
We
city.
have praise teams.
Yeah, we have praise team. That's one reason for that is I think really is because there's no real minister of musics anymore. So nobody's taking the time with a choir. And no shade, but a lot of this new generation
They
don't know how to teach parts.
Okay.
They don't take the time to learn songs. They don't even know what's like standard. They don't know church standards.
I remember when being in a choir as a youth teenager. Like, not only did we learn the songs as far as the music, but we had to know what we were singing about. Like Jacques Fouché, God bless his soul, God, he would actually, break it down for
That's what
us.
I'm talking about. Yeah.
So
It's not. We don't. So I think the choir. People say choir is dead, but it's not. It's just that y'all don't have a person in the church that can run a choir, and a lot of people don't have the patience. You have to have patience. You have to have patience. I'll use this church as an example, New Hope. When I came here, the first Sunday I came, and I sat in the service. I think it was 7 people up there in the choir stand. I was like, wow. I was like, what is happening? And I was like, okay, well, Pastor Carter said, well, I'm going to alert the people that you're coming to rehearsal next Thursday. And when I came to rehearsal, that choir stand was full. They was like, we're going to see what he got. And, we might not filled up that choir stand, but I had by the anniversary, I had like 40 choir members in New Hope's choir. And it wasn't about a personality. Maybe some of people came to the choir because of personality, but it's really because of the teaching.
Right. And
they love the songs. It's not, you can't just teach choir songs just because you like them. It has to be a song that fits the house. A lot of people mess up with that. If you're teaching a song that don't work for your church, they're going to be sitting there looking at y'all like, why are they singing this song? I kind of figured out New Hope real quick. They like gospel. And they love vintage stuff. So when we do a vintage song in New Hope, we knew we was definitely like All in His Hands. When they wanted me to do All in His Hands like every time. Oh no. Get out of here.
Come on, why not?
All in His Hand, because that was the song I got off the organ for that one. and that was a 100% chance that the whole church is going to be up for that. So you got to know your house. There's a lot of things come along with being a minister of music.
Okay. And you do a great job here.
Thank you. I'm so humble.
You paid me to say that, but you know.
And I want my money back because you told it.
So anyway, so let's go back to your teenage years and forming worship and praise.
So in high school, I went to James Madison High School, predominantly white school. The thing that was popular at my school was the football team. So my school was known for football, and I had a lot of church friends. You know how church kids always mesh together, and so we would meet in the music room and sing and have a good time, you know, cut class, and we would be in there singing, talking about our choir sung this Sunday, what your choir sung, what your church did, and it was so much fun until I said, you know what, I'm gonna speak to the principal. They was like, for what? I said, we need to start a gospel choir because we don't really have nothing for the black kids. They said, and I went.
Really? Okay.
So I started the first. I need to go back to James Madison and see if they got that documented. That I started the first gospel choir. Started the gospel choir for James Madison, and all the church kids came and joined the choir. It was like a big deal. We started singing for all the assemblies and everything, and it was a big deal. And so when I was graduating, we was like, well, I graduated early because I was smart.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I graduated 6 months early, and I wanted to be grown so bad that I didn't even go back to which now I look back and go, why did I go back? I didn't go back to the graduation. I didn't go to the prom. But anybody that's been in a sanctified church, you know, the prom was like, they would say, you shouldn't be going to the prom. And I hate that I didn't go to my prom. But anyway.
So do we need to do like a little part?
Yes.
Oh, let's do that.
Alycia, don't play.
I'm not playing. I'm
if
serious.
If my friend Trinice is on here, we've been talking about doing a grand prom thing for all. It's like, I think we said we're gonna start from 70s to whatever, up to date.
80s. That's
and
it. That's
80s.
the cutoff.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
let's at least do 90s at least.
No, because that'd be like Taylana and Michael and them. I got
okay,
look.
Well, yeah, we want 90.
Oh,
98.
We talking about birth years, or we talking about high school years?
High school years.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, like okay.
Yeah, so
right.
I want to have
birth years.
We want to have a big prom, and we do all the years, not all the years because we know people think
there no 70s.
Yeah, no, but that's not for me. But I mean
70s.
I think 70s. I think we should start from 70s.
Who went to high school in the 70s?
I have friends that's been, and they popping. They cool. I'm sticking up for y'all. Those are that's yeah. Y'all should be like, that's right.
Okay, I guess the 70s.
So yeah, I want to do that because a lot of people. I have a lot of friends that did not go to their prom.
That'll be nice.
And you know we do
it in the springtime.
Yeah, that's the time to do it. And get a big place and sell tickets. I bet you it'll be a big seller.
Okay.
And then my goal is to have like a really, really, really dope band to be the performer. Like it would be my dream if we could got Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh.
Like somebody like that because everybody who don't like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
You're right.
You know, like because they got so many hits.
Yes.
That would be like, but or you know we could always go back and get like.
Mike Barker and them.
No. We are throwing shots today. But Mike, no, your band is your band is dope. Y'all is cool.
I'm
but
only messing. I
y'all,
actually go to the city
and I support it too.
Yes.
Berto, if you're here, I know you are dying. Berto is the
teasing.
drummer. He is dying laughing if he's on here. But yeah, we got to get a really dope band. To bring up the hits.
So let's do that.
Yeah, we're going to do that. All right, y'all hear that? We're going to work on that for
22.
Yeah, next year. So we have to start on next month.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
All
right. So worship and praise.
Also worship and praise. So I was graduating and I told my friends, I was like, yo, I'm leaving. They was like, oh my God, what we going to do? I was like, it was like, we should keep this going. And I was like, really? I said, yeah, I think we should. I said, yo, why not? They was like, yeah. I said, well, you know what? Let's start going out to sing and see what happens. And we went as a school choir to a church called Greater Free Gift Baptist Church, which is still standing. Pastor Raymond Whitaker is the pastor if he's watching. And we put our name on the program.
Okay.
Well, I had two members that was going there, so it was fine.
Uh-huh.
And we sung, and everybody was like, oh, it was like a big deal. I was like, oh my God. But we didn't have a name at that time. So if Marlene is looking, she's like, he better say my name.
Hey, Marlene.
Marlene was standing on the school steps with me, her and Jeffrey Young. And we was like, what should we name the choir? And there's been a discrepancy of who said it, but I believe I said worship and praise, and that's how.
So you're going to take credit for it.
I'm here.
Marlene, I think you said it, but.
Marlene, if she
James
said,
is here now, so.
she's going, but Marlene and Jeffrey were standing. So that's how the name came about. And at first it was just my school friends. Mm-hmm. So then I invited Anita Wells, who was like, she's my oldest friend. We've been friends since we were 5. Do you have any friends?
You mentioned, you mentioned.
Do y'all have friends that are friends still that was 5 with you?
Mm-hmm.
She could sing, so she was like, I hated her when I first met her at 5 because she was the girl soloist and I was the boy soloist. But of course, the girl soloist got more love because she get up there. I never forget. I can remember this. I'm pretty up in age, but I can remember.
Oh, are you? Because you won't tell us how old you are.
I'm not that high up, I'm just saying. But from the time, from 5, I'm talking about this happened at 5. We were at New Hope Baptist Church, and I was the star soloist, Master James Hall. Then one Sunday they said, we're going to have our little princess Anita Wells come and sing Nene. She's going to come and sing. I was like, looking at my mother like, what is happening? And she got there and sang, and everybody was like, oh. And I used to stand straight and just do nothing. I didn't do anything I was saying. I was stand and sing. She was like
performing,
and everybody went crazy. I hated her, but then we became friends and we grew up. We grew up together. She, matter of fact, was like one of the first people that I had put in the choir. She's the first soloist in my choir, so we go way back. So we call each other now Peanut Butter and Jelly.
Oh.
Because we've been friends so long. So then I started inviting my friends from the church to come, and that's how Worship Praise started.
Wow.
Right.
And how many albums have y'all put out?
I think we are at 10 with the new project. If we're not at 10, no, we at 10. I think this is the 10th project.
Okay. So let's talk about the new project.
Woo!
Something exciting is happening next Friday.
Next Friday, finally. Now, mind you, we recorded this project 2 years ago.
Right, in D.C.
In D.C., live at the Lincoln Theater. So, before we get into all of that, I have, to God be the glory, I have done a lot of firsts. James Hall Worship Praise has done a lot of firsts. Mm-hmm. We were the first to do a gospel recording at the Rialto Center at Lincoln Center. Mm-hmm. No. That's Atlanta. What's the Lincoln Center Theater called?
The Lincoln Center.
Alice Tully Hall. Thank you. We was the first one to do a gospel recording there. We were the first one to do a gospel recording at Alice Tully Hall. We said that. I just said the other name, in Atlanta, Georgia, the Rialto Center. Mm-hmm. We were the first to do a recording at this theater. Oh no, Foxwoods. We were the first one to do a gospel recording in Foxwoods.
Tell the truth. How many people went to the slot machine?
Before and after, where it was like mobs of people in the. But now something special happened. Just a side note, because I don't know how many people know this. In Foxwoods, guess who showed up to my recording?
Who?
Edwin and Walter Hawkins.
Really? Wow, that's big.
What?
Yeah.
We were in band rehearsal and somebody knocked on the band door and we opened the door. It was Edwin and Walter Hawkins. I will never ever. How many people could say Walter and Edwin came to their recording? We had sung in California at their church, and he fell in love with James Hall Worship and Praise. He came to preach for me twice. We had a great relationship. I miss both of those guys. They imparted so much in my life. But anyway, so We also did first Foxwoods, the Rialto, and now first at the Lincoln Theater in DC.
Okay. And how did that go in DC? Like,
So
because you were supposed to come on the show like 2 months ago.
yeah, definitely
And
2 months
Pastor
ago.
was like, make him tell a story about what happened in DC. And that just stuck
You
in
know
my
why
head.
he wants to do that? Because Pastor Joe Carter is messy.
Oh. I should have known. It was
He
a setup.
is messy.
It's a setup.
But I'm not going to use names in the story. But no, I'm gonna tell you it's the truth. I don't have to use names. But the recording was supposed to be at the GMWA. God bless all you GMWA people that's out there. And long story short, we're gonna cut through all of that. I gotta know like 2 weeks before the recording
Oh, wow.
from the GMWA.
So, you had to scramble.
I had to scramble, but I got this thing inside of me
Mm-hmm.
that I was like, oh, we can't do it there. Well, we're gonna go. We're gonna go find. So I started calling all the theaters in DC because what happened? We had already put the advertisement out, so the world had already started gravitating to. We're making our way to DC. People were saying on the post, I bought my ticket to fly to DC. I'm flying to DC for James Hall recording. So I had to come back strong.
Mm-hmm.
We called the theaters, and finally we got to the Lincoln Theater where they were like so receptive and asked me to come in and check it out. And I was looking at that big room and I was like, wow. And we worked it out. When I tell you that thing was expensive,
Oh.
I don't want to say we just stopped paying. We just finished paying for
Are
it
you
yesterday. Nah.
serious?
But
to say.
let me tell you, this recording has had to be by far the most stressful recording I've ever had because we took on so much at the last minute. And because, that little inner person inside of me was like, oh, y'all doing that to me?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going to have to put on my boxing gloves and do what I got to do. So
Right.
we got the theater and we just believed, God was going to work it out.
Mm-hmm.
And he did, but it was a struggle.
Wow.
We sold out,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more when anybody that were in the theater is you don't get the theater with all the bells and
How
whistles.
many seats in there?
It was I think 2,500
Wow.
seats. So we sold out by people. We didn't sell out by tickets. If you know what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Something happened
Yeah.
where people were got in for free. I mean, at the end of the night, the lady that worked at Lincoln Theater, sweet lady, she was sweet before we handled the business. She came to me, she said, I want to let you know that you had 88 comps.
Who comped tickets?
88 comps? So I don't know. I heard many different scenarios. Everybody was saying, the musicians were sneaking their friends in.
Okay.
And stuff like that. Or there was a backstage door. People had came through that door. It was crazy. But so this recording has been the most horrific in preparing.
Wow.
And so after the night was over, talk about the bills that were
Yeah.
due. I think I paid, it took me almost a year.
Yeah, I know you. Were,
It
I
took me
remember.
almost a year to pay off the bills for the Lincoln Theater and that recording.
And then you had to pay for studio.
Yep.
Time and editing.
Editing,
and-
it was so much. So I really believe that because the birth was so strenuous and so great that this project is going to really do amazing. It's got to because there was so much to go along with it.
Okay, so should we play the single?
Oh
now?
yeah,
You
yeah,
wanna
yeah.
play
So
it
next
now?
Friday,
Next Friday, the single.
my
cover.
single drops, and it was hard to pick a single, but because of the time we're in, we got to wear masks. We trying to be covered up because we don't want to get sick. So we got a song called
Oh.
"Covered"
Got you.
because it goes with the wave of the world.
Yes. All
So
right.
It's come out next Friday. Make sure y'all pre-order it.
You get on
But you can get y'all can get it
iTunes or
iTunes, Apple Music, all the media outlets that you get music from, Spotify, the whole works.
all right, so you queuing it up now.
We ain't gonna play the whole thing because then somebody probably got their
Yeah,
tape in right
recording.
now.
Wow. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we just going to give you a little snippet of what's
Yeah.
going on.
So how many songs on the CD and when does the whole album come out?
I believe it's like 18 tracks.
Oh
Now,
wow.
it's 18 tracks, but we have interludes, we have some little inserts of talking in it, but it's called The New Era of the Old Time Way. So that title has come from the fact that we're doing a lot of stuff from the old church. Stuff that people, seasoned people, are going to be like, oh, we used to do that in my church. So we went and we pulled that stuff back out. Like, we opened up the project with Glory Be to the Father. That's the Gloria Patri. You remember that? Glory be to the Father and to... They said they did that here at New Hope.
Probably-
You might have
Probably
been...
before my
right.
before I was paying attention in church.
Yeah, so we opened up the
I
project
can't
with
say
that.
before my time because I've been here for almost 50 years, but
Yeah.
before I was paying
So
attention.
we got a lot of that stuff. We do like the offertory song. We do a lot of stuff that the church did, and we just updated it, and just to give like a little history of gospel, what happened. Then we got the typical James Hall worship and praise songs. I got
Nice.
amazing people on it. It's gonna be
Good for you.
really. I'm
Good for
excited.
you.
I'm very excited. It's gonna be released in like
I'm excited
February.
for you.
And for those of you that don't know, I have my own label. So all of my music comes out on James Hall label.
So what else is going on with James Hall? Like what else is in the future?
Well, this is very, very, very new. But I got a call from, I didn't even tell you this. I got a call the other week because I did a live with Prophet Bernard Jordan on his show. And he was talking to me and we were just talking. It was a panel of people. But he says James Hall is like always on stage. And James is like always on board. He's like, James, you should be on Broadway. And I said on the show, Yeah, I would love to be
Don't
on
you like to be
Broadway.
on Broadway?
So it's very premature. Someone was watching and was like, "Is he serious?" And they called and said they have an agent that would like to get me on Broadway.
Wow.
So I'm praying for that.
Yes, we all
Yeah.
gonna be praying.
Now I don't
for
know how.
that.
Now Alycia knows me very well. I don't know how good I'm gonna be with remembering
The
lines.
Broadway.
I can't remember lines, but give me some singing parts.
You gotta remember the words to that.
I gotta
Or
remember
you
the
can do
words.
like I do.
Right.
You know what I
Oh
do.
boy. Yeah. I mean,
I will make up a
singing.
word.
I can learn words to a song, but I gotta figure it out.
Talking.
Yeah.
That's-
I guess they're gonna have somebody train me. I hope that's how it happens. But that's hopefully that's in the near future.
That should be exciting. So I just probably have like 2 more questions.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of gospel music, what other genre of music do you enjoy?
Actually, I love really all types of music. I'm not a rock fan. I don't like hard rock.
Oh,
hard
well,
rock.
hard rock.
Soft rock, yes.
Okay. 'cause
Hard rock,
Rock is my favorite.
nah,
like,
I can't get down with hard rock.
What?
Just soft rock.
Heavy metal or hard rock?
Or maybe I mean heavy
Yeah,
metal.
y'all think you're talking about heavy metal.
Yeah,
'Cause
heavy
even hard,
metal.
yeah.
So no heavy metal, but country music, gospel music. My favorite, really, I guess, is jazz. I love jazz. I go to see jazz shows all the time. Of course, gospel and rock, soft rock. I love. I'm all into the neo soul. I'm a huge fan of neo soul. So, like my favorite artist, and we're friends, is Music Soul Child, Bilal, Erica Badu. Those people.
Oh, we just went to the
we went to
Badu
see right.
concert.
We went to see Erica Badu. We get down with the neo soul. Okay.
And what advice would you give to like an up and coming artist, or even an artist who wants to get his or her music out there? Like, how should they approach?
It's hard to get. It's hard really to break in. You have got to be consistent. But one thing I have to say about anybody that's trying to do music, anything, be original. You know,
Oh, I just felt the shade just now. I
Yeah.
just heard your thoughts. Like,
yeah, because you know my
yeah,
thoughts.
I know.
You have to be original. They don't need
Ooh.
another. You don't.
Shady.
I go places, and I be like, wow, that's literally me up there. You know? But at the end of the day, that's cool when I'm not around. But when I show up, you will never beat me being me.
Right.
So if you're doing James Hall, and I'm glad that I inspire many people. And I've seen people that I inspired, but they evolve into like their own thing. You got to have your own thing, because if you're ever on a program with the original, they can be
right.
like, oh, that's what it is. That's what he's trying to do. So be original, and you have to be consistent. You have to be hungry about it, because there's going to be so many discouraging situations that could happen. I've been discouraged so many, like the recording. I was so discouraged at my recording that really, mentally, I wasn't there. I was like a robot at the recording.
Wow.
I told the choir members, like, the next day, because that's when you're going to find out how it went, because everybody on social media is going to be talking about it.
Right.
I didn't want to look at social media because I thought the recording was horrible, because I was not in that place, because everything that could have went wrong. The first thing that happened at my recording was I got on the organ. It was supposed to be a big moment for James Hall. I got on the organ, and everybody was like, whoa, play James, play James. I got on the organ. I can't remember. I wish I could find that bad sound on here. And the organ was like, I can't even do it. It's not working. I can't. It's not working. It was like a static. It was like. This was the first thing that started off my recording. Now, mind you, we're spiritual. We had this big prayer upstairs. We was crying. We came down. We was woo, and they was like, "This James, you open up the recording." I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready." I got on, and the organ said. The audience was like. My choir was like, and I was like, I said to God, right then, I said, really?
So this album is gonna be it.
I was like,
so all the
really?
stories you have, yeah.
I couldn't believe. And then you know what? So we went through the whole song like that.
Are you serious? The whole song?
Because you know what? It was at the Lincoln Theater. It's a Union House. We had everything was planned out by time.
Right,
So we couldn't
got
go
you.
back and do it over.
Okay.
So we just like was like,
Wow.
we're gonna go with it. And
Yeah.
I just turned the organ down and they sung. It was horrible.
Wow.
So I get off the organ. You know what it was? The plug wasn't all the way in. Can you imagine? Nobody thought about it. Like, go push the plug in. But that's how the recording stuff. So after that, I left the recording as a person, and I became a robot. So I could not enjoy anything. But the next day I went online on Facebook, and everybody was going, "Oh my God!" Everybody was like, "This was the best recording." I was like, "What recording was that?" But I wasn't there.
Right.
I wasn't
right.
there at all. I left.
So why don't you be original James Hall now and give me some good music before we leave the show?
Well, you know, I should do a classic. Let me see.
Do I got it?
Oh no, you know, I'm gonna do the regular.
Do I
I'm
have
gonna
to
do
get
the
my voice
one that
right?
everybody knows. I got on Balenciagas. Anybody know they are really big? So, excuse if you hear my pedals are slipping.
You don't want me to sing?
Oh yeah. Sing along.
Yes. Thank you. So again, appreciation concert this Sunday.
This Sunday
7
night.
p.m. at
All
Philadelphia
roads
Beach.
lead to Brooklyn.
That's right. And the new single coming out next Friday.
Next Friday, December 10th.
And you could get that find it on.
All media outlets. Apple Music, Spotify. I don't know. There's so many different ones out there. Those are the only two I use.
Okay. Well, that concludes our show for today. I am your host. I am your girl. My name is Alycia. This is Fabulous Fridays. We thank you for joining us. Go be fabulous today. Go support a Black-owned business, and we will see you next week. Bye.